Heyo, guys, girls, and everyone in between. This is Rebellious Pastry here, and today I have a very special and important guest. Want to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Nadia. You don't have to worry about it.
I put your name on the thumbnail since you don't have um since you don't have an OC. So it's either you say your name or I say your name.
I mean, you don't have to say it.
Legendary nobody. So yeah, and I already asked you this during pre-stream, but do you have any YouTube or any social media that you wish to share?
Nah,
So alrighty. Um so my channel announcements, which are just announcements in general because that's how life is going currently somehow, but I'm gonna be starting hormones on Monday. Assuming everything goes well, which, brutal to honesty, I'm nervous, but I'm excited at the same time. So, it'll just be a new challenge in life. So, yeah. Anyways, and then another announcement is I'm still trying to figure out which video to do next because I'm very scrambled um on which videos I wish to do next. So yeah, enough with announcements. So we've those of us who've been on the channel before, Tess, I'm gonna call you out, buddy. Um, but yeah, videos I wish to do next. hey, but yeah, so today we're gonna be playing What Would You Do, which is like, um, this is technically a TV show, but this is my Audiogames version of it. Which is basically me and Legendary Nobody are going to be asking each other what would we do in certain situations. And how you guys get to play is you guys get to answer slash you guys get to answer slash ask us questions, which we can think up of questions, but please keep in mind that y'all's questions take priority over ours, because you guys watch the show and whatever whatnot. But if you ask something in the middle of us asking our question, like if we're answering something, we will wait until after we're done with what we were saying before we go on to your question. Which I forgot to say this in the beginning of the season, um but if you're talking to us, please make sure you put either at Rebellious Pastry or a donut symbol so that so that we know that you're talking to us and not each other. But please keep in mind that I still moderate the chat. So, anyways, since you're the guest, do you want to go first? Or
let me get a feel for the game.
do you
You go
want me to
first.
go first?
Uh, let's see.
No, I could
You
cheat. Now, I could technically cheat and say, what would you do if I had you go first? But that would be a fun way to start the show. So, we're going to start with, um, What would you do if the entirety of the water supply um got switched out for chocolate pudding?
I think I'd dehydrate and die. I think that would be the first one.
Okay, we're going to
I think
pretend like our bodies can process chocolate pudding like water so that we don't instantly
that's,
die.
but that in itself is still a lot of sugar intake. So I might still, you
You're
know,
thinking too. You're
go
thinking
off to
too
the Maryland.
literally. You're thinking too literally, bro, man.
Uh, I wouldn't savor it because let's see, chocolate. I'd probably walk to China. I don't know.
You would walk to China if the water supply was chocolate pudding. Here
Yes,
we go.
maybe.
Now here's the logistical issue I thought of while you were thinking about how am I going to drink? How am I going to drink um chocolate pudding if chocolate pudding um is the only beverage or like the beverage that or I'm gonna just for the sake wait no I'm not gonna change the question but yeah I'm just imagining trying to take a shower with just chocolate pudding just like turn on the shower spigot and here we go liquidy chocolate pudding just goes out of the shower spout. And I'm like, in my brain, being like, what am I supposed to do with this? It is literally something. It will literally make me sticky if I were to take a shower with this.
So
But yeah,
I don't think anybody would like the summer anymore.
I don't like the summer to begin with. It's too hot.
I agree.
It's too hot. But yeah, um, your turn. Your turn to think of a what would you do question. Also, chat, please feel free to ask us what would you do questions. Um, because we can ask each other stuff all we want all the show, but we want your input too. Um, um, it's your turn.
Okay, what would you do if every time you got hit or hit someone, it would play that cartoony band sound?
Oh yeah. Um,
Like you stub your toe and it hits a cartoony band sound.
I would wonder how loud. I would wonder how loud it would play. Does the loudness? Does the loudness get louder? Is the sound of the loudness get louder the harder you hit?
I just imagine someone robbing the bank and the entire robbery getting foiled because they fell or something, and all you hear is a loud bam, and
Just
the
like
police are there.
bam, bam, bam. I would probably, I'd probably find someone who I'd hit anyways, and then just extra annoy them with the noise. But then again, I don't really want to hit very many people, so um, yeah. Um, or I would probably see if the hardness of how hard I hit affected the noise. And
So,
then
what would you hit, or who would you hit to get that?
who would I hit?
Yeah,
I ain't saying on here. Definitely someone. Definitely someone who would never watch this channel, though. Yep. But yeah. That would be a very interesting time. Just like, yeah. I guess it's my turn. Um, what would you do if you were stranded in the middle of a desert with only a water purifier?
Find a cactus, then
Find.
find another cactus,
Why would you find
then find
cactuses?
another cactus. Because cacti have water in them, but it isn't safe to drink. But you said I had a water purifier,
Yep.
so that means I get water. But I'd also probably die because I have no food. So
I'm surprised you wouldn't. I'm surprised that you didn't say that you would eat the cactus.
why would I do that? That sounds completely irresponsible and wrong and painful.
I'd probably try to open the cactus to eat it first, though. It depends
You
on
wouldn't
how
take
prickly the cactus is. I'm sure some cacti. I'm sure some cacti are edible. Um, let's see. What would I do if I was stranded in the middle of the desert with with only a water purifier? Um, I would first off, um, let's see, where am I gonna go with this? If I don't have all of a sudden have like massive sensory issues due to my heat sensory problems, I would probably start by, assuming I wouldn't have sensory issues, I would start by looking for an animal I could kill and eat, I guess. I'd try to figure out how to survive in the desert. Um, yeah, it would be hard though.
honestly.
Um, but yeah, wait a minute. I just thought of something. Um, you know, if you were desperate enough for water, there's water inside of you. But
But
yeah,
then there's the morality question. Would you do that?
would I?
Or would you find another solution?
It would depend on how
Uh,
desperate I was for water. But yeah, um, but I would probably try to see if I could find food first. But
uh,
but yeah, because food sometimes can hydrate you. Um, your turn.
what would you do if you were stuck at that last game you played?
Do you have music on currently?
Maybe, kind of, indeed.
Can you please turn it off?
Alright.
If you can, because I can't hear you and the music. My brain is just not able to focus on what you're saying with it on. I guess I'll have to pull up the rule book. Anyways, um, so,
Uh,
but yeah,
oh yeah, I said, what would you do if you were stuck in the last video game you played?
that I played.
Yeah.
Alright, what would I do? I would, for context, um, the last video game I played was Tears of the Kingdom, so, I feel like I'd be vibing. I'd seriously be vibing because, you don't necessarily have to get into any beef with any enemies unless that is your own choosing. Um, but I'd just be Link at that point. But the question is, would I want to actually try to save the princess? De- depends on how she got captured. Because if she was like if Zelda was like a Peach, then I would just be like, "Hey Bowser, why don't you take her? See, you got her way too easily, man." But then again, with the whole Mario franchise, there's a belief that Peach wanted Bowser all along.
I wanted to say about that, but what do you mean that you're gonna be chilling inside the Scissor King um, game? There's nothing chill about the game. You're gonna wake up and see a blood. You're going to go to sleep and wonder why someone outside is trying to beat you up. There's nothing fun about that. There's nothing chill about the universe, actually.
I,
The more you stay still and do nothing, the more the world gets infected.
but yeah, I'm just saying that I'd uh I'd be stuck in Tears of the Kingdom, man. What video game would you be stuck in?
Um,
And
uh,
what would you do about it?
um, let's see. I'm trying to figure out what is it. The game.
You forgot the last video game you played?
Uh, hold on. I gotta see.
What video game? What was the last video game that you remembered playing?
Persona 3. So I'd be stuck in that. But it's just it's just nothing that happens. So I'd
Nothing
literally
happens?
be chilling.
Nothing
Well,
happens in
something
Persona?
does. No, something does happen. But realistically, nothing is gonna happen to me.
Alrighty. I guess it's my next um let's see. Um let's see here. Um hmm let's see. I'm just trying to think of something new and innovative. Um what would you do if you caught uh let's see here. I'm trying to think. Um what would you do if one day you just randomly woke up and every step you take, you end up going the opposite direction than what you expected.
What do you mean?
So like let's say that you get out of bed and you take a step to the left, you move right instead of left.
So I basically can't go anywhere.
You can go places, but you go the opposite direction as when so like let's say your brain's like, "Hey, I'm going to take a step to the right." Takes a step to the left instead.
I just somehow make it back up to where I sleep, and then I sleep because there's nothing I can do. I can't really move anywhere,
I would just
especially if my brain is not listening to me.
yeah, I would just be like I would try to so what I would try to do is I'd try to go backwards. Like I would try to think about the opposite direction of where I was going and go with that. That would be very difficult. I feel like I would crash into a few walls.
Now you have brain damage, and that's why I just go to sleep.
You would just go to sleep. Man, that wouldn't be fun. Um, I mean,
I don't think CTE is fun either.
I feel like some people can even get out of bed if if you go the opposite direction as you intended, when you get up, when you mean to get up, you end up laying down. So you'd have to think about laying down to get up, and then that would be such a weird universe. That would be such a weird universe if everything was backwards. Like, have you ever played a video game where you had to go backwards? With like the controls were backwards.
Yeah.
Imagine that, but that was your life. I... but yeah, man, it is honestly frying my brain. But yeah, anyway, you're up next. Next
What?
question.
What? What would you do if every single place you walk felt like you were stepping on glass?
Um,
Every time you sit down, it felt like you were sitting on glass. And that's it.
is the glass broken?
Yes.
Jeez. Um, the- um, that would be. I feel like at some point I would, unless I just bled, I would just, um, unless I just bled every time I sat down, I would probably just get used to it and be like, oh, well, this is life now.
No, 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 no. You don't like get any physical injuries. You just get the pain of stepping on glass.
I would get used to the pain eventually.
I would not, because imagine having to sleep with glass on your back, broken glass on your spine. I would probably, I'd probably do something crazy.
let's see here. I guess it's my turn. Um, thinking. Um, let's see. Um, what would you do if the next thing you ate had the flavor of everything you've ever eaten in your life? Just everything. All the flavors. I'd,
I missed like one
I'd,
part of the question, so can you please repeat it?
I'd probably throw up just because, like, I have a hard time with, um, I'd have a hard time with, um, the having so many flavors in one item. But yeah. How about you? How about you?
Um, I was probably like not. Just probably like I don't know.
You wouldn't eat
I
it?
would say not eat, but um indeed, but like I mean, sometimes flavors can mix together. Depends if all the flavors are like overpowering each other, then nah, I wouldn't eat it.
Yeah. Imagine if it was a beverage instead of a food.
I definitely wouldn't drink it.
That would be the most interesting Gatorade flavor on the face of the planet. Everything I've ever eaten in my life flavored Gatorade. Ah. Um. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Your turn.
Okay. Let's say something that happened to someone specific. Let's say everything you touch turned into Skittles. What would you do?
Can you repeat that?
What would you do if everything you touched turned into Skittles?
Into Skittles?
Oh, I mean, the energy that's what you're showing.
Um, that would be. Let's see here. If everything I touched turned into Skittles. Um, um, I guess I couldn't really do much of anything because if I tried to do my homework, it would turn into Skittles. If I were to do this live stream, then my computer would turn into Skittles. I guess I'd just eat Skittles. Wait a minute! I have a question. If if one were to touch Skittles, would Skittles turn into Skittles?
Well, um,
Did I hear your
uh,
correct? Did I hear your question correctly?
wait till you realize. Um, yes, you did, but Skittles turned into Skittles. I mean,
Would Skittles
if
turn
you're
into
touching a Skittle,
Skittles?
wouldn't it be a Skittle?
Yeah, but
I mean,
everything turns into a Skittle. So if I were to touch a Skittle, would it turn into more Skittles, or would it just be the same old Skittle?
You're turning it to uh, you're turning everything into Skittles. It depends on the size of the object. If it becomes a Skittle, you can't really touch another Skittle because that's already a Skittle. You can't turn a Skittle into a Skittle because it's a Skittle.
Makes sense. Um, I guess it's my turn. Um, let's see. Um, what would you do if what would you do if you just ended up being the opposite gender for a day? Just like everyone just does a gender swap for a day. What would you do? If you had a gender swap?
Well, firstly, I'd be in, in fury because like I work so hard, but like I at the same time I probably
You'd be
I
yourself if you
probably
were a girl.
uh, uh, I probably hmm, I don't know. Just go on like normal. It doesn't really matter to me.
Fair enough. Oh man, wait a minute. Wait. If I was the opposite gender, would that mean I would be a trans woman? Hold on. Um Wait a minute. So if I was the opposite gender, would that mean I'd be a trans woman? If I was a trans woman, then I'd have to refigure out how to be myself, I guess. Ah. But yeah. Um that would be an adventure. But if I was just a guy, if I was a guy and just straight up a guy, then I would be having the time of my life. Um, but yeah, so you wouldn't be like surprised that everything about your body has changed if you were a girl? So you would just carry on your life as normal. That is honestly one of the most underwhelming answers to the question I've ever seen, but that's okay. Your turn. Your turn for what would you do question.
What would you do if you morphed into the person you dislike the most?
Shoot.
Like literally morph into the person. Like
Um,
not more like be a copy.
I was just the person. So, um, I'm not gonna mention her very much, but um, if I was her, if I was her, I think the world would be a better place um, because she is basically her and I have the same basic temperament, but mine, I use my temperament for good and she uses it for bad. So the world would be a better place if I were to morph into her. How's that as an answer?
It's a definite answer to the question.
What's your answer for it, buddy?
I I do a whole bunch of things that I can't say on this show. But all I'm gonna say is they gonna remember my name. Actually, that sounds terrible. No, 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 no. Uh, all I'm gonna say is I'm definitely gonna get my get back.
But I answered the question as if you never morphed back.
I know, and I did too.
But yeah. Um anyways, what would you do if every building every building in existence were to be only one story, but if if the building originally had multiple floors, all of those floors would just be next to each other instead of on top of each other. So instead of having a 3 story or a 2 story house, you'd have a really long house. If
It'd
you're,
just be hard to get anywhere
I feel like that'd be a
because
lot of
like
walking.
you'd have to like walk from I don't know your bedroom and then walk like 3 miles to get to the kitchen.
My goodness. Yeah. At that point, I just put my bed. At that point, I just put my bed by the front door. Um, Imagine how apartment buildings would be. Imagine how apartment buildings would be.
I'd be
Just
um.
like a 1 story apartment building that is long as all hell.
I mean, that wouldn't be that bad to be honest, because like you don't have no need for an elevator. You could just walk up the stairs, and your house is like.
But
I
there would
mean,
be
your home
no
is like.
stairs. There would be no stairs because everything would be 1 story.
Then that's just a very long walk to your apartment.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you could somehow spice it up and figure. I don't know. Put the a mini car in there. I don't know. Raise someone else next to you.
um. Okay. What is your next question? Cause I have a sequel. To that question, but I want you to take your turn before I ask the sequel. So,
Oh yeah, I got one. I got one. What would you do if you woke up with a doppelganger?
um,
Like they act exactly like you. Well, no, they act the exact op. No, no, no. They act exactly like you.
um, would I wake up with them next to me?
No, you'd wake up and like they'd appear when you, I don't know, walk past the mirror or something.
Hmm. So right as I step out of my front door, there he is.
Indeed.
Hmm. Um. So you probably didn't know this, but I actually I actually work with someone who is very similar to me in temperament. But oh man. So this doppelganger would have all of the same experiences as me. Um, hmm. I feel like me and my doppelganger would get along. Them and I would get along. Um, we we both would worry about each other more than ourselves, though.
So like, let's say they, it's not for a day. They just appear. It's like for an entire, uh, let's say 2 years.
So
What would you do? Would you just go back into the same apartment
um, can you
or
repeat?
house or something?
Can you repeat that?
Let's say they have a time limit of like 2 years. what would you do? Would you just go back into the same apartment, house, or building?
As wait, I thought we were still on the doppelganger question.
Yeah, we are.
I
Like,
would. I'd just go back to my house or wherever I was living. 2 years. Um, I would be in an apartment. I feel like in 2 years, but that's beside the point. Um. Anyways, um, it's my turn. So you know how I said that I had a sequel to this question, right?
indeed, that is what you said.
Um, do you still have music on?
No.
All right. What would you do if every room of your house was its own floor, bathrooms included?
Let's say the bathroom is the top floor. All I'm gonna say is that that's your cup.
But what would you do if
I just
your house was your house each room had its own floor? And oh, the only way that the bathroom wouldn't have its own floor is if it was connected to your room. Shoot, I
that'd
just
just be a lot of
is your bathroom connected to your room?
you know.
Um, where I am currently, it is, but at home it's not. But still, I feel like with what kind of room I'm living in right now, I still feel like in this scenario, because of how heavy the doors are in this place, I feel like my this place would still have four floors. Um, but yeah. Um, but what would you do if all of the rooms had, or all of the rooms were their own floors inside your house?
I just do a whole bunch of walking upstairs, walking up more stairs, walking up more stairs. Oh, there's a kitchen. Walking up more stairs. Oh, there's a bathroom. Walking up more stairs. Oh man, I just
If,
I I probably find another apartment.
but what if all the apartments were that way? Every place was that way.
I'd be homeless.
I feel like at that point I would try and consolidate. I try to consolidate rooms at that point. Be like, okay, this is the this is the bathroom that also operates like, no, bad example. Okay, this is the family room that also operates like a kitchen. Um that also operates as a bedroom somehow. But yeah. I feel like I would try to consolidate how many floors I had somehow. But there was so many floors. And then I would just have multi-purpose rooms at that point. Your turn.
What would you do if you had all of your memories, but you turned into a robot?
If I had
But
all
you're like, But she's like you lose your sense of humanity the moment you turn into a robot.
Jeez, I would be a very dumb robot then. I'd be a very dumb robot. Ah, um, want to know why I say I'd be a very dumb robot? Most of my most
Yeah.
most of my intelligence is emotional intelligence. And if you took that away from me, then I'd be very dumb.
Uh, uh,
What is
that's
what is your answer to this question?
well. I'd probably I don't know, maybe kind of be the same.
You would be the same.
I mean, kind of. I just
Why do you say you'd
I
be
mean,
the same?
now I can definitely just, well, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm insane, but I wouldn't say I'm crazy either.
I'd
Damn.
say I'm crazy, but in a good way, of course. Personally. Um, what is hmm, um, but yeah, anyways, um, so you feel like you'd be the exactly the same as if you weren't a robot?
Yeah.
Hmm. But yeah, I would be the world's dumbest robot. Unless unless emotional intelligence got turned into something else. Or like humanity. Because like I don't know what I'd do with my life if all of my humanity was gone. That congrats, you just unlocked a new nightmare for me. Oh man. Anyways, um what would you okay, I'm gonna do the opposite of your question and say what would you do if every piece of every piece of electronic anything just disappeared, like no more electronics whatsoever?
Um, I, I I'd probably wake up with I don't know 15 random. Okay, that sounds kind of bad out of context. 15 random people on my arm.
i would I would be wondering what I'd be wondering like what all would count as electronics. Wait a minute. So I'd wake up and hello? Um let's see. Um um you're good. Um your phone died. All right. Um alrighty. So, I guess okay. Hello? Hello? Do 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 do. um, so if I'm gonna just make this announcement again since this is how the show is going. If you're a Donut Batch member and you wish to ask us what would you do questions, please make sure you put the what would you do questions in the chat. And yeah. Um do 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 do. Um do 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 do. Um do 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 do. Um I feel like the next question I think of probably will have something to do with uh um I'm just gonna think of questions as he gets his stuff back. Um so hello. Hello, if I was cool, why don't you start asking us what would you do questions as my guest figures out how to get back on this stream. But yeah, um, um, hello, mate. Hello, if I was cool. Um, how are you doing if I was cool? Are you happy that, that the showtime is back? Um, do 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 do. What would you do if you had spider powers? Um, um, what would I do if I'm gonna wait um, until my guest gets back before I answer any questions, but ask away. Um, what would you do questions? Um, do 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 do. Um, I guess I'll go over channel announcements again. I'm still looking for video ideas. What else? And I'm gonna be starting, or if all goes well, I'm going to be starting hormones on Monday, so I am hyped for that, and I'm also nervous for it. What else? I don't know. You don't know when you're gonna be back? Alright. Whoops. There goes my keys. Just dropping right next to me. I'm gonna ask if I can get. Wait. Can you? Alright, we're having technical difficulties, but that's a-okay. Um. Do 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 do. If the technical difficulties don't get fixed within the next 5 minutes, then I'm gonna decide. Um. Hmm. Um. Then I'll decide if I want a different guest or if I want to end the show early. Um. I'll figure it out. Um. I can barely type on that phone. Alrighty. Um. Do do do. Um. Let's see. Um. Um. Do 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 do. Um. Let's see. Um. I was. I'm. So. New announcement. Legendary Nobody is not able to get back on here, so I'm going to see if. Oh man, you gotta go to tennis? If I was cool, damn. I was gonna actually have you on here. So yeah, let's see here. Dude, um, let's see here. Actually, I'll just end the show early. Unless there's anyone who wants to get on here who, let's see here. Um, um, I'm gonna see if my best little bro buddy wants to get on. Let's see here. He's probably gonna see this like hours later and be like, "Oh, whoops." Um, but yeah. Da, da, ba, ba. Um. um. I guess I'll end the show right here then. Anyways, I'm gonna figure out like who's gonna be on like the next few weeks, and yeah, I platonically love you, my donut batch, and see you in the future to come.